Welcome everyone. The discussions today will be focused on the concept of the business and the business process thereof. So basically we'll understand the operation of the business in details to understand or to fabricate newer processes, swifter methods and faster implementation. So let us understand what is business process reengineering. So a process essentially is a collection of activities. Remember that thing, which basically means there would be a number of inputs that comes across it. Absolutely, a number of input that come across it to create a value for a customer, and this can be the product that comes around a unified product that we are looking into it. So that is the process out here. But then what will be a business process? It is again a collection of activities, but in this case, it will be logically related tasks using the firm's resources to provide customer oriented results to support the objectives of the organization. So it will be now logical, it will be now having synergies of the organization's resources and definitely customer centric in totality. So that is what business process engineer re-engineering will be talking about it. So we will move from process to business process. In a process is a collection of activities which is collated to bring out with a outcome or output. But in business process it will be logically processed, logically collection of activities to utilize the resources of the organization in an effective fashion so that the customers enjoy the maximum attention altogether. If the customer enjoys himself or herself, remember the business is going to achieve its objectives. So, definition of the process: a process is simply a structured, measured set of activities designed to produce specific output for a particular customers or for a particular market. This was the definition which was given by Davenport. Thomas Davenport is what I'm referring to. So characteristics, what are they? So it's basically a specific sequencing of work activities across time zone, across place. It has a definitive beginning, a definitive end, defined inputs and outputs are clearly mentioned out there. It is customer centric, did I say? How is the work done? This is where we will be concentrating the maximum as far as business process reengineering is concerned. The process ownership and the measurable and the meaningful performances that we are looking out here. So that is what we will talk about. A process, remember, is a simply a structured, measured set of activities to produce definitive output which might thrill the market or customer in the case. So what is processes are often cross-functional. What we are looking into it is the white space and an organization that comes around it. Look at this ornogram that comes around. There is a vendor and there is a customer which is looking at a value added products. So we just cannot improve or measure the performance of a hierarchical structure, but we can definitely increase the output quality and the customer satisfaction. We need to wow this customers altogether. And at the same time, if possible, can we reduce the cost? Can we reduce the cycle time? Can we reduce the operational process altogether? That is what the white space in the organization is all about. It the process cannot be measured. Definitely the process cannot be measured that comes around it. What can be done is we can improve the experience of the customer, improve the quality of the product. What we can do is we can reduce the cost. What we can do is we can reduce the process time altogether. So that will make the definitive or desired impact, as is the case might be. So, business process reengineering is an organizational change method used to redesign an organization to drive improved efficiency, effectiveness, and economy. The three E's that we're talking about it. Slowly and shortly, I'll be speaking about the three C's, essentials for business process engineering. Three C's, right? So, organizational change, what they include, they are ABC analysis or activity based costing analysis, baselining and benchmarking studies, business case analysis, functionality assessment, industrial engineering techniques, organizational analysis, productivity assessment, workforce analysis, and any other requirement as far as human capital tools are concerned. So again, I will like to tell you about the organization change tool. You can change any of them, and probably it result in a different fashion in terms of activity based costing, in terms of benchmarking, in terms of business case analysis. Remember, business case analysis changes from organization to organization, market to market, environment to environment, economies to economies. So functional assessment, industrial engineering techniques, and so on and so forth. So business process reengineering essentially should be considered as a fundamental rethinking, a radical redesign of business processes to achieve dramatic improvement. These are the key words that needs to be taken around it. Fundamental rethinking about the radical redesigning of the business processes to achieve dramatic improvement in the critical contemporary measures of performances such as cost, quality, service, and speed. This is what we are looking into it. Remember, improvement in critical contemporary measures of performances such as cost, that means we can reduce the cost; quality, that means we can improve the quality; service, can we reduce the time or the cycle time thereby; and in short, basically what we are enhancing is the speed about it. These things can be measured. So we need to improvise the process altogether in terms of rethinking, redesigning the business processes altogether. Remember, the key word is fundamental and radical. So, what is fundamental? Why do we do what we do? Exactly. What is the reasons for the organizations to be in existence? Absolutely, to thrill the customers, right? That is it. Or to have a sizable market presence, whatever you want to do. Ignore what is and concentrate on what should be. So, what is in the present, what happened in the past, please ignore it, leave it out there, and strive for the future is what we are looking into. Is this fundamental rethinking that we are talking about? It is this to need to understand why an organization does what it does, question everything, all the rules, all the assumptions that exist. Next is all of radical redesigning. The keywords I'm talking around it is a business reinvention and vis-a-vis business improvement. We need to redesign everything. Remember the mobile that was there contemporary 25 years ahead back. Approximately we had key buttons mobiles. Nowadays most of the mobiles are keyless. It is based on the screen, right? Absolutely screen. So that's a reinvention of business improvement that we're talking about at in terms of product. So radical redesign means disregarding all existing structures and procedures and inventing complete new ways of accomplishing work. Reengineering is about business reinvention. Begin with no assumptions, takes nothing for granted. That is what we are talking about it. Next is what is a dramatic. The key words that comes around it is dramatic. Reengineering should be brought in when a need exists for heavy blasting. Now this is what heavy blasting is about, all about it. We need to define what is heavy blasting. First and foremost thing is when companies are in deep trouble, company is completely red as far as balance sheet is concerned, or company sees that future is very uncertain, the trouble is coming, or their companies are at the very peak of the condition. Probably they have the dominant market share, and to maintain that market share, company has to dramatically make an emphatic impact to change the market, to command the same lead for for the futures all the time. So need to understand what is heavy blasting when company is in deep trouble, when they see trouble coming, and probably when they are in the topmost condition. So not looking for marginal or incremental improvement or modification. That is what we are looking at it. Goal is dramatic improvement in performances. Yes, goal is always a absolute change in the performance is concerned. The last word would be a business process that we comes around it. The most important thing that we are focusing on this particular presentation. Remember, it's a collection of activities that takes one or more kind of inputs and creates an output that is of value to a customer. Remember, focusing on the way that the organization add value, that is through cross-functional business process. So we can have cross-functional business process so as to enable a customer gets all his product or service at one particular place. So that is what we are looking into it. Move away from functions, view task based rethinking. This is what we are looking away from functional. We cannot be looking at any specialized, as in there is somebody who is only looking at disbursing cash, somebody who's only interested in receiving cash, somebody is only interested in collating the statement of receivables and whatever has been disbursed. Can we do it at one go or by one particular person? So instead, anybody who wants to deposit cash or wants to withdraw cash, or probably has to done the back end operation by the same person altogether. So what I'm trying to give you a picture of a, let's say, a banking system where these things happens all the time. So that is what we need to go around it. Or there may be many in service industry where this happens altogether, where there's one particular counter, one particular outlet where everything can of the customer requirement can be met. So, goal of re-engineering is this. This is the goal of re-engineering. It is all about the continuous improvement that comes around it from time to time to re-engineering. And then there is this sudden jump. This is what we are looking into it. This sudden jump means a breakthrough improvement, and again we move to the continuous improvement altogether. This is what we keep on doing around here. So, reengineering is typically chartered in response to a breakthrough goals for a rapid and dramatic improvement in process performances. That is what we're looking out here. So, competitive forces, there are five forces competition model that comes around it, and this is what we are talking about in one, we have two, we have three, we have four, and the fifth one is this one, is the fifth one. Remember, it is the firm in objectives, the firm in focus that comes around it. First and foremost thing that comes is the threat to the new market entrants, the new entity, the new organization, the new company that has come into the field as to look and occupy a position. The next other threat is the substitute product. Probably what can else replace the essentials elements of the product that the company produces. So there might be completely change in the taste of the customers or so on and so forth. Next is the bargaining power of the customers, wherein the customer has a lot of power. Probably there are only few customers to that industry, and the company depends on those particular customers to drive their bottom line. In such a situation, the customer has all the power. Similarly, for the supplier, if the organization sources its material from few vendors or few companies, as the case might be, the vendor would be deciding as to what the pricing would be all about the end product of the of the organization. Because the resources might be high, the prices can be high, the firm doesn't have a monopoly over it. And last but not the least is the intra-industry competition. And this is where all the new entrants, all the existing competitors are competing with each other for a pie of the market share that comes around it. This is the competitive forces, five competitive forces. We spoke about the customer, spoke about the competition, and now we're speaking of the third C as in change. It is the reduction in the product cycle. Yes, the product are being reinvented time and again, and we are seeing a variation of the product every now and then, which has been launched in the market. So we are basically reducing times to develop new products. New environmental scanning comes into it, technology and the customer preferences. Company created to thrive on a mass production, stability and growth can't be fixed to succeed in such a world. This is what we are looking into it. Integrate people, technology, organization culture to respond to rapidly changing technical business environment. And customer needs to achieve big performance gain. This is what we are looking at it. What are the big performance gain that is coming? I said customers are getting demanding every now and then. They expect us to know everything. In fact, with the advent of internet, everything is available. All the data, all the information is not only available but accessible to any person who is interested. So they know what they are getting into. They know how to make the right decision to do it right now, to do it with less resources and to make no mistakes as expected. This is what we are looking at it, to be fully informed. Yes, customers are fully informed with the advent of internet and online access. So what are the four revolutionary things that comes about it in a business today? Number one is a new technology. Yes, Technology is changing the ball game every now and then. We are talking about the new workforce. Yes, the workforce is getting younger, the workforce is getting vibrant, the workforce is getting little agitated, the workforce is losing their concentration, the workforce is the new one, and so is the new rules of competition. So remember, when the workforce is new, when the audience is new, when the technologies are new, probably the competition changes as fast as you can imagine, and then there is something called a new competitor. So everything that is coming about it, be it competitors, be it technology, be it your customers, or be it the new rules of competition altogether, which is absolutely revolutioning the business. The C is related to organizational reorganization, re-engineering project. The organizational re-engineering projects, what are they looking at into it? I have already said about the three C's as far as customers, competition, and change is concerned. This is what we have already discussed. The customers are becoming demanding. The competition is changing as per the rules of the game. Change is becoming permanent as far as technology is concerned, as far as customer habit is concerned, and everything. Now, what we can do about the four C's of an effective team? Now, this is where we can make a difference with the help of four C's as far as our employees is concerned, or your customers is concerned. Can we have a commitment from them? Can we enjoy our loyalty bonuses around it? Can we have cooperation with them? Can cooperation be extended to them, expected from them? Can we have a distilled, transparent communication? That is what we are looking into it. Yes, that is what. And lastly, but not least, is being vibrantly available as for their contribution. We need to understand their feedback, the customers' feedback, the internal customers' feedback. What are they going to contribute? What are the incentives that can be there? So the four C's is commitment, cooperation, communication, and contribution. Let us understand the some of the BPR objective. What are they? They are looking at improving efficiency. That means basically reducing time. Increasing effectiveness. That means basically delivering high quality. Next is achieving cost saving. That means we are producing at a lesser cost and improving the production profitability of the company. There would be more meaningful work to the employees. Making them empowered is one thing that can be going around it. Increasing flexibility and adaptability to change. Remember, flexibility and adaptability is not only given to the employees but also to the customers. The customers can return their product, customer can exchange their product, customer can enhance their annual maintenance contract at a lesser fee. These are things that can be given, can be flexible as far as company is concerned. Remember, we need to look focus on a new business growth often, more often than not. This is what we need to focus upon it. We do not look at acquiring newer customers. We should focus on not only protecting the customer that we already have, and then probably enhance their experiences with newer business, newer product, newer path. These are the basic BPR objective, business process re-engineering objective, as the case might be. So the spectrum of change, it is all about automations, definitely yes, rationalization of procedures, re-engineering, and paradigm shift. Automation, if we look into it, what exactly has been meant? Everything has been done by the algo, or should I say the algorithm that comes around it. It is your automation product that comes, wherein the risk is very low, similarly the return will be very low. Remember, returns are on your x-axis and risk is on plotted on your y-axis. But when the risk is very high and return is also high, we are looking at a paradigm shift. That is what we are looking into it. If we are being very rational, we are very conservative, probably the return would be very cost conservative also. That is what we are looking at, rationalizations of procedures. And probably a moderate changes as far as risk and returns would be re-engineering. Remember, this is what we are looking into it. Out in paradigm sheet, we have to invest a lot of money, or should I say burning cash onto research and development, and then probably come up with a product which might lead to a higher returns. Absolutely. Mind you, there was an uncertainty when we are investing money or burning your cashes into your research and development. So spectrum of changes, automation refers to computerizing process. Yes, definitely yes. Of the existing task, rationalization of the procedure refers to streamlining of the SOP or standard operating procedures, eliminating the obvious bottlenecks, so that automation makes operating procedure much more efficient and improves the effectiveness, overall efficiency of the company. That is what we are looking as for the spectrum of concern. In terms of business process re-engineering, remember this is where we actually redesign the business process. What are we aiming at? We are aiming at eliminating repeated processes, duplications of the data or data collection method, eliminating paper intensive, eliminating certain processes which are bureaucratic in nature. In short, we are looking to reduce cost. We are also, if we are reducing cost, we are automatically improving the product, services, and profitability of the company. So the fourth is the paradigm shift, where we are more in a radical form, where I have said you have to invest, or should I say burn cash in your research and development without knowing whether you will come up with a viable product, and even if you come with a viable product, will the market lap it up? So that is what we are looking into, is the nature of organization is questioned, improved strategic standing of the organization by leaps and bounds, and that is what is the paradigm shift that we into it. So risk reward ratios is, I have already said to you, with it all together, the risk, the higher the risk, the higher the return. The lower the risk, as in automation is concerned, the lower the return would be. So let us look into it and probably go for a moderate kind of risk, and probably come up with a re-engineering process altogether, where we can realign everything. So this is what we are looking at it, right? Downsizing, outsourcing, automation, and continuous improvement are concerned. So, what are we looking at is in re-engineering and continuous improvement. What are the similarities in re-engineering? Yes, the basis of analysis is absolutely similar. The performance measurement is very rigorous in both the ways. There is an organizational change that we are looking into it. There is a behavioral change that we are looking into it, and the time investment is of much significant investment. So this is the similarities between re-engineering and continuous improvement. This is the incremental improvement, the marginal improvement that we go around it on times of basis of analysis, performance measurement, organizational change, and behavioral change in the time investment. What if these are the similarities? What are the differences? Here we have already gone around it. Remember, in the level of changes, it's radical, absolutely radical as far as reengineering concerned. But for continuous improvement, it is incremental. So that is what we're looking into it. In starting point, it is top down up. It's a clean slate, but in continuous improvement, it is existing processes that comes around it. Similarly, for participation, typical scope which can be completely different for re-engineering and continuous improvement. The risk factor, the primary enabler, and the type of changes. See the lot of differences, and please don't get confused with such kind of mention. Thank you for watching this video.